I was very proud to be a supporter of President Barack Obama and his administration until he made the decision to endorse same-sex marriage. I believe one of the greatest gifts of being an American citizen is one right of freedom of speech and freedom of religion. Since President Obama took office, I have seen so many Americans lose their jobs, homes, and their sense of pride of being able to provide for their family. In some cases, even lose their hopes for a better future. President Obama promised hope and change, and unfortunately, I've encountered too many people whose hope is gone and they are waiting for a change for the better and not a change for the worse since he has taken and has been sworn into office.
There's been 4 years of gridlock in Congress, and even though Mr. Obama isn't entirely to blame, keeping him in office will be 4 more years of the same, and the working poor and middle class will not benefit as a result of this. I don't believe that many people that are barely holding on in 2012 will be able to hold on another 4 years for things to get better under President Obama's administration. We need a change, and we need it now. We need a fixer, a person that can get the job done in the next 4 years. Too many Americans are disappointed that the promise of a balanced budget hasn't manifested. Instead of balancing the budget, an additional $5 trillion was added to the deficit under President Obama's first 4 years. For each American, we have to pay off our individual household debts that we created. Now added to that debt is our share of over $5 trillion that we didn't create. America needs stability and more jobs, not more debt.
I am not voting for Governor Mitt Romney for the position of church pastor. However, I am voting for Governor Mitt Romney for the office of the President of the United States of America, and those are two very different roles. It helps to have a president who is a man of faith and able to work with men and women of all religion, and prayerfully his faith will govern his actions and thinking. In making our decision to endorse Governor Mitt Romney candidacy, we ask ourselves the very poignant question that President Obama himself said that each American should ask themselves. Am I better off now than I was 4 years ago? Or my family members, friends, acquaintances, business partners, neighbors, or church members better off now than they were 4 years ago? We also asked ourselves the following questions.
Do I know anyone who has lost their job and haven't been able to find another one as of yet? Do I know anyone whose unemployment benefits have been decreased from 26 weeks to 14 weeks in their home state? Do I know anyone who has lost their home and/or automobile due to a failed economy? Have I seen or heard about an increase in the amount of people with or without children who are now living in shelters? How many small or large businesses have I seen gone out of business or closed locations in my neighborhood? Have I seen a decrease in membership in the church that I attend? Has President Obama given me the hope and change that I can still believe in during his first 4 years? If he hasn't, can I afford to give him or his administration another 4 years?
Unfortunately, the answer to those questions for us is a surrounding no. Our nation is in the state of crisis, and the tasks at hand are many. There are 23 million Americans that are unemployed. We have to get our brothers, sisters, neighbors, and all Americans back to work again with jobs that will enable them to pay their bills and sustain stability. Our veterans are back home after fighting on the front line for us and keeping us safe, and still there are many that don't have jobs. American households are in a state of stress beyond measures, and it is not their fault. Mr. President, we need jobs, jobs, jobs. Too many Americans wake up every morning and search for jobs that just aren't there. Mr. President, it has become a job looking for a job. This is not the change we can believe in. Many cities, counties, and state governments have had to close down schools due to budget deficits, and teachers are losing their jobs every day. Mr. President, this is not the change we can believe in. Inflations, the cost of foods and keep rising, and many people have more money than food. A gallon of milk is on the rise. The cost of a loaf of bread continue to increase. Meat, vegetables, and basic toiletries continue to increase. Mr. President, this is not the change we can believe in. Many local cities and states have filed bankruptcy. Mr. President, this is not the change we can believe in. Many local cities have downsized their public safety services as well as laid off police, firemen, EMS staff, and even closed down fire stations. Mr. President, this again is not the change we can believe in. For those Americans who are fortunate to still be employed, even they are struggling to make ends meet because of higher gasoline prices for no real justifiable reason. Mr. President, this is not the change we can believe in.
Americans are frustrated each month when they see the increase in their utility bills, and they feel they are being held hostage or trapped to provide the basic life essentials. Mr. President, this is not the change we can believe in. Many homeowners are struggling to pay the increased taxes on their home due to their counties and states' budget shortfall. Mr. President, this is not the change we can believe in. Millions of homeowners have seen their property value decrease as much as 50% due to no fault of their own. Mr. President, this is not the change we can believe in. Crime is at an all-time high all across this great country, especially in cities like Atlanta, Detroit, Miami, New York, Houston, Los Angeles, and yes, Mr. President, even Chicago, your very own home city. Mr. President, this is really not the hope and change we can believe in. During the last 4 years, many Americans have less money in their pockets and none in their savings account, and many retirement is uncertain. Mr. President, this is not the change we can believe in. Many Americans without a job are also without medical insurance. They get through every day praying that neither they nor their children get sick, as it would be another expense that they can't afford. Mr. President, this is not the change we can believe in. Mr. President, this is not the change I voted for in 2008, and I can no longer stand by and allow your administration another 4 years of the same. During this election season, I continue to hear the word likability over and over again. Personally, as a woman voter, I don't need to like my president. I only need to like his results. I don't mind if I don't like my president, but because of his ability to work well with others, I have more money in my pocket every paycheck. I I don't mind if I don't like my president, but crime is low in my neighborhood due to the ample presence of police patrolling the streets, which is a result of my president's ability to balance the nation's debt. As long as the person that I voted for has a proven record of accomplishing the job that they said they would perform in their initial term, I would be willing to give them another term. Any average person in the workforce who doesn't perform to a level of expectation that their employer requires would be given a corrective action or unsatisfactory performance reviews that would lead up to their termination. I remember years ago when I worked for a company and they were looking for new leadership. They hired a new president and gave him 3 years to turn around the company's issues, including their profit and loss revenue. When his term was up for review, his performance results indicated that he didn't perform up to the expectation of the board members, and a new president was brought in. The president of any company is held accountable to its chairman, its board members, and stockholders, and the president of the United States is held accountable to its citizens. This is how business in the free world is done, and there's nothing wrong with this process.
With that in mind, I agree that many individuals who believe that it is okay to choose another president, and it is not something we have to feel bad about doing. This is our right to choose, and this is how a democratic system works. If you agree with President Obama's record and you want to give him another 4 years, it is your choice to vote that way. The same holds true to anyone that wants to switch parties or someone who feels as though they disagree with the last 4 years of President Obama's track records and want to give someone else the chance to make a difference. No one should feel condemned for having a change of mind or wanting to give a proven successful businessman, such as Governor Mitt Romney, a chance to balance the budget, etc., when he already has the experience of taking the state of Massachusetts and the Salt Lake City Olympics, as well as other companies that were in the red, and putting them in the black in a short period of time. As a start, I agree with Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney's 5-point plan that he shares in his speech Thursday night at the Republican National Convention. They are as follows. 1. By 2020, North America will be energy independent by taking full advantage of our oil, coal, gas, and nuclear and renewables. 2. We will give our fellow citizens the skills they need for the jobs of today and the careers of tomorrow. When it comes to the school your child will attend, every parent should have a choice and every child should have a chance. 3. We will make trade work for America by forging new trade agreements. And when nations cheat in trade, there will be unmistakable consequences. 4. To assure every entrepreneur and every job creator that their investments in America will not vanish, as have those in Greece. We will cut the deficit and put America on track to a balanced budget. And 5. We will champion small businesses, America engines of job growth. That means reducing taxes on businesses, not raising them. It means simplifying and modernizing the regulations that hurt small businesses the most, and it means we must rein in the skyrocketing cost of health care by repealing and replacing Obamacare. I was glad to hear just a small glimpse of some of the people that Governor Mitt Romney has helped outside of the politics and not for political gain. It was good to know that Governor Mitt Romney visited a terminally ill child when he didn't have to, and he performed the child eulogy. He may be a man that has built his own wealth, but he still has a heart for people and isn't too pious to help someone who's in need. He volunteered his time and talent in his local church and community and provided leadership when called upon to make things better for those around him. Governor Mitt Romney also understands the scripture that states that whatever you have done unto the least of them, you have done unto me.
As a woman voter, I am relieved to know that I will not be throwing away my vote when I vote for a Republican. In business, Governor Mitt Romney has hired women, respects women, and believes in women's rights and equality. He has delivered results and is a results-driven leader with proven accomplishments. My belief is that Governor Mitt Romney will get this country back on its feet in one term. We need jobs, 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 and it's time to give another candidate with a proven track record the opportunity to fix our economy and get America thriving again. I believe that Governor Mitt Romney and Congressman Paul Ryan are up to the task set before them. And just as they've succeeded before, they will succeed again.
Governor Mitt Romney and Congressman Paul Ryan
is the change that America can believe in.
Thank you, and God bless the United States of America.